this restream this on X, so just be patient. This conversation today that I'm going to have with my trading warrior brother Steve Marcantonio, and we talked before the election, and we're going to update you and kind of give you a feel for important levels and what we think might happen here in 2025. It's a new year, so Steve, here's my war cry. We're all going to thrive in 25.
Yeah, I uh,
Okay.
I hope
That's
so.
all
But
right. Hey,
uh,
look, it's more than hope, isn't it? All we have to do is execute, and this shouldn't be any different than any other year, except I really think it's going to be a great year to be a trader
yeah,
because of
for sure.
everything's changing.
Yeah,
So, when you go from one system to another during the transition from one system, kind of like when the pound was the reserve currency and
yeah,
then it shifted to the dollar, but in
yeah,
between that transition, there were two world wars and a depression.
yeah,
Okay, but until
yeah.
the new order was established, I'm not saying anything like that is going to happen, but there will be rocky points. You don't build something new until you tear down what is old. What do you think?
I think 2025 you're going to have to get your popcorn ready because there's going to be some major action on the Trump side with the rest of the world. I know that they're going to do tariffs, and you know what? It's actually a smart move. If you
Okay.
look at the 1800s, he even brought it up
Yeah.
where tariffs were in play. The U.S. was uh, just filthy rich, and the citizens were there was no taxes, and it all came from tariffs, and people had a lot more money saved in their account, and that means a lot of the corporations and a lot of the corruption was gone, and that money went back to the people. And I really do think that this administration coming in for the U.S. wants that. I know they want to tariff Canada 25%. That's a heavy blow, and thinking about how the way Trump plays his 4D chess, he's going to probably put pressure on Canada.
Okay.
And considering he has probably some Wall Street buddies there, they're probably going to attack Canada financially to get on their knees and maybe join the U.S. I don't know.
Okay.
There's going to be some exciting opportunities, I think, in the market, though, for sure.
Well,
Big,
I know I'm buying a
big time.
timeshare in Greenland.
Yeah, yeah,
Right,
exactly.
Steve. So
That's
anyway,
perfect, actually.
let's get to the charts and kind of review what we talked about before the elections. So before the elections, we were, right around in this range here. Okay, and this is October. Uh, okay,
Right
so
there.
we're right around here, and we were talking about a top, and right around here, and you were talking about 58 and a half for a potential high.
Yeah.
And it was just a bet, like you owe me a Coke kind of
Yeah.
bet. And I said, and you said, well, what do you think, Dale? I said, well, 6,100 after the election.
Yeah.
Now, all right, so I got lucky. The high was 101.
That was
Okay,
beautiful.
and it did generate a decent sell-off. We did have a bear raid in December.
Yeah, a little shake there.
Yeah, I know you were probably there for that.
Yeah.
And but now forget all that. In the business, even for ourselves, it's not what we've done, but what we're going to do now, next, right?
That's right.
And
That's right.
so next, here we are. To me, it looks like, Steve, we're going to threaten and blast to new highs. I see some weaknesses in it, with momentum, and there are stocks that will not make new highs. In fact, um, I'm looking at the narrative of the S&Ps making new highs, and I do believe that the Dow has topped and that we're
Mm,
just going to have a failing rally in the Dow. and not make new highs while the S&P and NASDAQ make new highs.
Funny you bring up
And
the Dow. I remember it was like 8 days in a row. Remember the Dow was going
yeah,
down and
yeah,
everything
this,
else was going up, and I was like, "Wait, what's
yeah,
going on here?"
yeah.
Never seen
Well,
that. Like like that was. I think that was historic there, where the Dow was just going down and everything was going up, and
well, you
that
know
was
why?
just markets were going all over the place.
They had added Nvidia into it, and Nvidia had a pretty good correction before. Now
Yeah,
we're challenging new highs. But I read anytime an index adds Nvidia to it,
yeah,
they always have a drawdown.
yeah. That's
So now it's
the
part of the
opposite.
it's part of the Dow. All right. So I'm going to turn over the charts because, people have heard me gab about the markets, and I want to stick with the S&Ps. But I think something that's important to the next administration and to emerging markets is having a dollar top in place.
Yeah,
Uh, okay. And
which looks to be topping, if you ask me.
that's what I'm thinking too. I had a target of 102 in euro that from months ago, 102, low was 102.20. I'm not saying that we can't do some work, but I think that they're going to be successful. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I think we're going to have a turn in the dollar
Yeah.
and embark on a bear market in the dollar. That's also part of the plan.
Well, it helps the exports there in the U.S. too by doing that, right? And that's
Right.
probably number one on Trump's list
So
because he
here's
wants
what,
manufacturing, right? So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
beneficial for them to have a
So
low
here's my
cost.
question to you. If I'm correct about the dollar, and we know it's going to be supportive for commodities, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
it's been supportive for the market. It's been part of the risk on recipe. Can we even look for a bear market in equities if we're going to have a bear market in the dollar, bro?
I think these markets have changed, as I told you before, Dale.
Yeah,
It's from back in the day. You just wait for a trigger. That's the only way. If there's a trigger, whether it's something of a terrorist attack, which is
yeah,
could happen anytime. So the
yeah,
markets could be bullish and bullish and bullish all they want. And then all of a sudden something comes a swan. And
yeah,
then all that just falls apart instantly where you get a move that's, and this is how I think it's going to happen in how it's been happening is there's a trigger that is so bad and that the markets will probably break her because we haven't had one in a long time and it will just all of a sudden turn into a bear market within a couple of days, taking out certain levels, and
yeah.
then
You mean
it's
just
just I
trap
think
people, like an overnight thing that people can't react to, and then they
that's
just
right.
get paralyzed
That's right.
and go, well, I don't know what to do. I think I'll watch it for a while.
It's right,
And
and it's all
yeah,
bots, right, Dylan? It's fast because this high frequency trade, they're even getting better now, and just if something, it's like whoever's out the door of the theater with the fire, right? So these
yeah,
bots automatically within milliseconds, if a
yeah,
certain level breaks, it will cascade so fast. And I don't know if you've seen it, but in December, remember that move we
yeah,
had down?
yeah.
It wiped
The
out what, 2 months or a month? A month of
yeah,
gain wiped out in a
one
couple of
one
hours.
bad one bad candle,
It's
one bad
crazy.
candle, and I'd been talking about it before it happened. I said, the
Yeah,
way the
I
S and
saw
P's,
that. Good
the way
call, by the
the
way. Drew.
by the way the S&Ps were grinding up here, that it
Yeah,
would only take one bad day to change a trend, and
that's it.
this is a day, but it didn't change the trend because I do
Yeah,
you
they
think
held
we're
it.
going
Yeah,
do you
they
do you
held
think
it.
we're going to new highs here, Steve? And where does your longer term pivots? And you said you did some work
Yeah, I look
on
at
an
the
S and
longer
P.
term. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm going to give you the charts, and maybe you could walk us through what your work is saying
Okay,
uh,
we'll do that
going
now.
into this.
All right, let's bring it up. Um, so you can see my screen, hey, Dale, with the two.
Yeah,
Which screen do you see?
that's you
You
and
see my
me.
mouse?
Yeah, got it.
Okay, so
All right, all
let
right.
me bring it in.
Those are our animal spirits.
Yeah. So here we go. This was a level that is extreme important. This is the March contract, by the way.
Okay.
But I have the continuous, but it's March. And it's 6135 was a very, very important level,
Yeah.
extremely important. And this is on a bigger picture. When you look at the bigger picture, pivots, uh, support and resistance pivots have more weight, meaning if they
Yeah.
hit a pivot on a monthly,
Yeah.
weekly, those hold significant value. I know people that just wait for certain ones, and that's where the patience comes in, and they do very well. They're extremely patient, and they wait for certain pivots for swing trading. And they would,
You're paid to wait.
yeah, they would wait
You
for a B. Like let's say
yeah.
this move, and by the way, like this market rallied like crazy. Even if it got to this level, 48.22, it's still bullish. I'm not
Yeah,
kidding.
that
It,
yeah,
it, it, like this,
that's a breakout. That
that's a
measure to 61.
yeah. So and below this, it could start to
It's
get
over.
dangerous. Yes, yeah,
But does your work show a new high above the 61
yeah.
level if we get through there?
If we break this here,
Yeah.
we're going up here to the top of my band because it loves my bands. There's even people that just use my bands. Like this is huge. So I would have um, above this, I have 6102, which is basically the last line of defense. And by the way, there is sizable dark pools here in futures. So you got this major cluster area here. So is this profit taking? I think it is because that's what you saw this nice monthly
Right.
red candle in December from
Right.
hitting this T target, and we could come up to 6102 and then maybe pull back to 5750, kind of give it a wind, kind of like these, right, where it winds and goes up, winds and goes up, and they do this wind back because they're tripping stops, they're buying. These stops provide liquidity for these institutions, right? So they hunt. And I've said this before to you. This market's all about hunting stops. They hunt stops like madmen. In
Yeah.
fact, gold, they do it like crazy. ES is starting to like look like gold when they hunt, and they
Yeah.
just hunt, 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 hunt. And those are the bots that are programmed to. Um, they know where your stops are. They have access to the book, and they hunt you. And that's why
Yeah.
you have to be really careful on where you put your
You know,
stop.
I felt better about it when at least when my pocket was getting picked by my stops being run. At least I knew the guy. He was in the on the floor, and he'd buy me a drink. But these bots cleaning up after guys that are putting their stops 1 pip above
Yeah.
a swing high or low,
Yeah,
you're just you're just food
the
for the bot.
the thing is, if you know where to put your stop, Dale, the problem, the thing is, they have to spend a lot more money to get your stop because there's certain levels they got to get by, and then there's
Yeah,
levels that these institutions will automatically come in and say, no, 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 you're
yeah,
not going to break this. So it becomes kind of like a bot war.
yeah,
Maybe AI war down the road, but so they'll protect that support level. Or in institutions like, you know what, we can't
yeah,
break it. Some other institutions defending it, and they let go, and then they start covering, and then you get that nice retrace up, and then they might want to come back in to push it down. But those were levels plays. Like I'm a strictly intraday trader. I just look at levels and I don't care
right.
about anything else. Like to me, these markets are all based on levels. If you have the right levels and know which levels that institutions are using, you could benefit in a way of going with the trend, knowing when they're coming in to defend a certain level, and
Okay,
that's where these dark pools come in, which I use as a piece of information. But the number one thing is pivots in my book. I
okay.
think pivots are the.
So
I
my
could
my
just use pivots. To be honest, I could just use pivots. I'm fine. That's it. I don't even need anything else.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, that's it.
I'm a one or two trick pony, Steve.
Yeah,
I don't have a million trading methods.
right. You
It
keep it
would
simple.
confuse me.
Yes. Yeah. And the best.
Uh,
So this is the
but
bigger picture, Dylan. Look, if this gets
that's
held
what I was going to
and
ask. If we
defended,
get through that, we're going to have a melt up. Is my takeaway.
yeah, I have actually above that. I have it notes here. I have So 6102, which is basically they
That's a
might
high.
hit it. They might
Yeah,
hit 6102. It's funny, it's 6102. Just above 6,000. There's probably tons of stops there.
right. That's what I'm
Take it
thinking.
down there again to shake the tree. But as long as if this T holds and we can get to 6102 and then it comes back down, if it decides to slip and just fall back, this is major, major, major support, which is that B pivot of 5480.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I've heard people talking that number.
it's very strong. Most likely you'll see a bounce here, pending if it's not an absolute slaughter. But even if that from here, it would be kind of a slaughter.
Yeah, it
This is
would
the
be.
monthly, right? So, and we could even fall back to the L. This would be the last stand for the Bulls right here.
It would
And
be.
anywhere in between here, it could just do its thing. Like I said, this is a bigger time frame, right? So there's big ranges here between the pivots. So
I'm looking for that 48, 40, really 4,900 to be tested. And from there, Steve, let me just show you something since we've looked at this chart. What's active on my what's active on my S&P weekly chart.
here I stopped at
Oh,
the share.
oh, okay. And I know you'll appreciate it, and also our viewers, because it's an unusual formation. It's a megaphone top.
Yeah,
Okay. See,
yeah.
we have the top here, and we have the bottom here with confluence of a lot of
Oh, there you
moving
go.
averages
You have it
and
right there.
trends.
Yeah,
So why
the
can't, if
charts
it's
are
a
lining up.
megaphone, yeah, so if it's a megaphone top, why can't wherever it peaks here trade back down to this level and then go back to the megaphone top and just keep screwing people up over and
Yeah,
over again? And maybe one more blow off to the megaphone top into mid-year next year or
yeah.
late next year might be it.
If
But
yeah,
anyway, that what I'm saying is there could be big trades here, big trades here, that the market's going to get increasingly violent, and that's what broadening tops are. They imply, and most traders get killed because they get bearish down here and they get bullish up here when they're getting close to where the megaphone pattern comes into play.
that's what's been happening.
Huh?
Actually, that's what's been happening. It's going both ways, and they're just toying with the.
And it's perfect for
Time.
the character of our new president. He likes megaphones,
Yeah, yeah, he does a
right?
lot actually.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm thinking on S&Ps. And also I know that last time we talked, you were a big bull in the metals, especially silver.
I'll point
And
out
I
though. I'll
okay,
point out though with that T, if that 6130 gets broken, which is my T, I
okay.
do have higher pivots. I know that this might scare a couple of people, but the next pivot after that would be 6840, and above that would be 7755, and above that would be 8760 for the year. Now, anything is possible. They could do
It
it.
is.
People could be going, you know what? That's impossible. Look, they can bring this market deal wherever they want. And
I
there's a
know.
lot of
Look,
tricks these guys they've mastered this market like crazy in these couple of years. So if the boys really want to bring it to wherever they want, geez, there could be a nuke dropped and they can bring it higher.
you
It's
know,
like, yeah,
but
it
you know
was
what,
factored
Steve?
in. They'll see it was factored in.
Here's all right. I buy what you say about the guys, and if we're going to 7,000, perhaps they'd like to buy the market cheaper before that
Yeah.
happens, and
Yes. Okay, that's
shake out
absolutely.
bomb and pop, get them to puke down there at
Yeah.
4,800, and then we have a melt up
Yeah, it
because
could
then
be
they're
like when
long.
Trump comes in, he starts tariffing everybody. Market comes,
Yeah,
doesn't like it, hits our 58 20, 48 20 area there.
yeah,
And then all of a sudden that's the bottom. And then we get a major squeeze. And then there's a nice reset to go
yeah.
to 77.55.
Right. That's why that's
And
kind of my
everybody will be caught off
bias.
guard, just like all
Yeah,
the other times. Yeah. And
yeah.
I
I
think that's
mean,
what's going to happen, by the way.
okay. So we got to it the long way. We went the long way, but that means that this is going to be one of the best years
Could be,
in
yeah.
many to be
A
a
nice,
trader.
Nice shakeout and then squeeze like you wouldn't believe.
Great
When he
opportunities.
comes in, the tariffs start rolling, gives an excuse for everybody, gives an excuse for people to bring it, the boys to bring it lower for some reason. Really scare the crowd. Nice big thick.
Yeah. And
Um,
that's when everything goes. That's when silver goes to 50. That's
yes.
when
Yeah.
commodities
Yeah.
really begin
Yeah.
to
They're going to
blow
start
up.
shifting in there because I'm really looking at the metals for January, February, March.
I
They're
started
ready to pop.
buying
They're ready to
miners.
go.
I
They're
bought
ready to go.
miners last week, Steve. I know
Good
I'm
for you.
early. I didn't think I never plan when I'm in an accumulation. I went with this one, and if you look at the weekly, they've really gotten cheap, and even gold bulls and silver bulls hate the miners. Everyone hates the miners.
That's when
We've
it
gone
doesn't
through
happen.
we've gone
Yeah.
through some tax loss selling
Yeah.
because most people got long near the highs, but I bought this one last week.
Well, I'll
All
say it
right.
again. I think we talked about it the other show. The only sector that really hasn't, well, the only sector actually that hasn't had their time of day has been the miners. If you look
Yeah.
at the past 4 or 5 years
Oh,
since the COVID, everything
yeah.
popped. Biotech, everything.
Yeah.
Uh, the miners didn't because they're waiting for
Yeah.
this probably, and they're probably going to do some parabolic moves. Like I was even speaking with my brother who trades with me. That's behind me, by the way. I don't know if you see him, Joe. You want to say hi?
Hey, Joe. Nice to
So
meet you, buddy.
Joe's more of the real estate side. He's the real estate guru.
Okay.
You can learn a lot from him with that. But now he helps trade too. But with regards to gold, I think a lot of people are going to be pouring in, and I think it's been waiting for this moment. I think it's going to shine. There's going to be a lot of uncertainty and a lot of
But
geopolitical issues within the U.S. between
yeah.
the and gold shines when that happens, right?
But silver may outperform. Look at this
Yeah,
action we've
well,
had in the gold
yeah.
silver ratio. This was gold doing okay with silver acting lousy lately. But you know what? If you look at this gold silver ratio, I thought we might get to 95. Maybe we still do. But at 95, if we got there, let me just fix this. I'd be exchanging my gold for silver. I think that the gold silver ratio, it's been going sideways forever, but I think we're going to go back down and take out the low end of the range, and we'll see it in the 60 range. There's a monthly. It looks a lot like the dollar, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
here's the XAU, gold silver ratio. Keep that in your head, and then look at the dollar. It's the same formation,
Yeah,
and they're both going lower. I think the dollar is peaking.
there's a ball controlling both.
Yeah, you're right.
Tick for
So
tick.
so I mean that
Exactly what it
that
is.
can't hurt the miners if we're going to
No,
embark on a
no.
bear market, and people will panic under par, Steve, in the dollar. They'll
I think it's
start to
gonna.
panic.
I think the miners are going to go parabolic. Like even JNUG, those leveraged ones, I'm even looking
Yeah,
at, and there's a
yeah,
lot of good sized dark pools there at the lows.
yeah.
I think the miners are going to shine from now till March, like some parabolic moves. Personally,
Oh,
I can show you my gold chart.
oh,
I've
only
been
for 3 months, or is this going to be? This should
No,
be a
I think it's
long
going to
last.
really spike till March.
Okay,
I
all
think it's
right.
going to go parabolic when I think it's
The
going to go parabolic
markets.
when Trump comes in. I
Okay,
think it's going to go
all
and
right.
squeeze and
Okay, so
keep
that's a
pumping.
catalyst. Is his
I think so.
policies are bullish for the metals.
Yep. Yeah.
How about oil?
Oil, I've been looking higher, as you well know.
Yeah, I saw some
And
tweets.
I think oil's going to. You want to talk about gold first or oil? You want me to go?
Yeah, no,
I'll show
let's
you.
finish up our gold discussion.
Okay, let me
There,
show you what I got for gold here. I think you're going to like it. But I've been really bullish gold, uh, I'm in buy the dip mode for a
yeah,
while now, and this is this is what I'm looking for gold. Uh, I did say that these dark pools here in gold futures uh, are most likely buys, considering where it is with my oscillator and stuff. And there's more dark pools here at the bottom. So notice these are not at the top. You got one here, and you got the pullback, but this
yeah.
is a definite sign of accumulation, if you ask me.
Okay,
And this is a major, major support area right here. and it got close to it hit my upper band, but it could definitely come here again.
Yeah.
But as long as my 25.95 holds, which looks like it is going to hold, and my oscillator is has got tons of room still higher, and
Oh,
this is where
wow.
this
Yeah.
parabolic move can come.
All right.
Um, and we could look where the T is. Like
So
I
it's
can't.
so compressed. It's so
It's
compressed
compressed.
down here.
And I got
All right.
2790 right here, which is a good, 120. And above that, I have
3,000.
2810. And above that, I got 2900. And I think it could get to 2900 if what I'm seeing here looks like accumulation, what it is. These are massive, massive amounts of
Yeah.
massive amounts of contracts here. Just here. What are they waiting for? Maybe they're waiting for the 20th, and then there's just going to be some, even before it, but there seems to be some positioning here for a nice move, at least to 2790. And I think it's going to take
Maybe
this.
they've been waiting for the dollar to turn to start to
Yeah,
accelerate because
that's
because
exactly what they've been doing.
okay,
They're waiting
because the
for the
dollar's
dollar.
been strong. It's gone from par to
Yeah,
109 and gold has held up relatively well
they're
with
waiting for
the
the
but
dollar.
silver needs a bear market in the dollar to have a bull market. That's
They're waiting for
historical.
it. Yeah, it was funny you said that because I was about to say that. It looks like the dollar. They're waiting for the dollar
Yeah.
to really do its thing, and it's peaked, right? It's they're probably a pretty big move down on the dollar, which is going to probably overshoot and spike gold and the metals, combining some, U.S. issues and government, which I'm pretty sure is going to happen since Trump comes in. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some back and forth going on in U.S. politics, and I find
Well,
that
will they get a debt limit reset
that
by the end
that
of the month? Maybe that's the problem.
that could be the parabolic move right there. If
Okay.
that doesn't get settled, gold's flying.
Okay. Well, then the market's going to tank.
Yeah, and there could be that 48.20,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the
And
metal.
then they'll raise it after we've been downgraded by Moody's.
You got it. And gold and the metals. There's the parabolic move, and that could be explaining all this little trying to hide dark
Yeah.
pools here,
Yeah.
accumulation. And I'm sure whoever's doing these, some institution knows what's about to happen.
You've been
They
seeing
always
some
do.
dark pool buying in the UVixie
That
in
too.
the
Yeah,
last few days. So
that's another
they're
thing.
so
Yeah.
they're using this rally to accumulate vol.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's usually
Interesting.
vol usually spikes in January too, by the way.
That's interesting.
So that's a little seasonality for the VIX is kind of where it is right now. And seasonality for the metals is now at too, right till March, right? So you got the seasonality on your side. You got the charts, the levels are showing something's up. Like I said, if 25.95 holds, I'm looking for 27.90. If this breaks, I think
Yeah.
it's going to get really
We'll make
interesting.
new highs.
It's just going to go. It's just, you see how it is here with just green,
Yeah.
green, green.
Yeah.
Times this by 2 or 3 if there's a
Okay.
trigger.
Okay.
It's going to be a massive squeeze. And I think that's what they're doing here is they're trapping shorts. They love to trap gold. They like to paint the charts and get people to, sometimes there's people that marry gold. They'll never sell.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that's why you get some scary red bars, like kind of like this one here.
Yeah.
And, they sell and then look what happens, right?
Yeah.
It's just, it scares people. People go out and they're like, oh, this is gold's going to get killed. And it gets them to buy all these bazooka blocks.
Any view on Bitcoin? Trump likes that too.
Bitcoin, I totally regret it because I really don't look at Bitcoin.
All
But
right.
that's
I
one
know.
thing that I totally regret is not getting in Bitcoin.
All
I'll tell
right.
you a story. In 2012, a friend of mine, where a cafe I used to go, went to mine and he's like, Steve, we're going to buy Bitcoin. And I actually looked into buying it. I didn't know how to buy it.
Yeah, that's a
I
problem.
knew how to buy it in
Still my
2012. I would have bought it. I didn't know.
yeah.
I was spending like the half an hour. I'm like, what is this thing? I don't even know how to buy it.
You're like me. You lost your patience, so you
I lost.
said,
I'm
screw
like, what
it.
is this? I was like, well, this is weird. Like, I don't even know how to buy this. And you know
Old
what? It was like
fashioned, you
it was
old
so
school
cheap.
guy. Yeah.
It was so cheap. And it was one of those things I probably wouldn't even look at it. And
Yeah.
then I hear people that bought it back then and don't even know their password. They got millions in there and they can't get in.
Yeah, that's what would happen to me.
Probably, they
I'm
can't do.
telling you, I was afraid of that one too.
It's
So,
scary. I've
yeah,
heard a lot of stories about that where people got into Bitcoin and they just can't get in back in like 2013, twenty
yeah,
fourteen,
I
and you
don't know.
can't get in. It's impossible. You know,
To me, a
like,
wallet is made out of leather.
yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Anyway,
So
that's how that's how new age I am. But anyway,
that's what I'm
man.
looking for. And I think this is going to bring up the miners too. JNUG is going to probably go parabolic. AG First Majestic, which I
Yeah,
really, I
I
think
like it too.
they're going to get
Yeah,
there. He's
yeah,
positioning for it, Keith. I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
I think it's going to get to the point where the metals are going to have their day. Now, I did say last year in July, I really like the miners, and they popped. And
yeah.
so far, those lows are in July of last year. Like if
Except
you,
Newmont.
yeah, what happened with that one?
I don't know.
No, they want more shares. That's why they're shaking a little.
They're diluting, or I don't know. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's why you're right. We're putting in higher lows. Even if
yeah,
silver goes to 27, we're going to put in higher lows
yeah. I
in the
can bring up
shares.
silver
You
now.
know
I
what
got
I'd like to
silver.
see, Steve? What happened during this bull move in gold, where people were disappointed in miners, that even on good up days in the gold, the miners would be up marginally. Okay. What I want to see now is in case they take out that 27, that low that you have, that the miners hold up well during negative days in the metals. That's
Yeah,
going to be the key because they were supposed to lead and they never led on that last cycle.
yeah,
I think they're going to lead this time because
they are.
everyone's out of them.
You know
Everyone's
how it
out.
is. When everybody's one side, they end up doing the
They
opposite. That's the
you
way they
won't
work.
find anyone.
It's the way
You
it
know
works.
they grill people that still talk about
I want to be
miners.
as surprised these institutions have an AI and they just type it in and say, well, what's the most, what do we need to do to shake out the most people in these silver miners? And the AI says, do this, do this, do this, and you'll get what you want.
All
I
right,
wouldn't be
so
surprised. But anyways, if well, let me share my silver.
okay,
Let me share the silver here. So this is what I have silver a lower target, but I
you
think
have
it's going to hold.
27.
Yeah,
I do too.
it
I
was
have
around
27.
what do I have here?
That's why I went light when I bought the silver
Yeah,
miners
I got
last
around
week.
2860 and below that 2760, but I think
Yeah,
27860 would probably hold. But yeah, the lower right here around
yeah.
28, there it is, 2860 and below that 2820. But I think this is gonna hold. For some reason, I think they're done. I think they have it's
That's why
turning.
I put my toe in the water
So we
last
got
week.
these bazooka blocks down here. Notice here,
Yeah,
top, down,
yeah.
and we got this accumulation here. I like my band rolled up and it hit the A pivot to the tick today, which was 3094 and
You
puked
know,
from there.
yeah. You know
But
what, Steve?
it's
You know
above
what?
these now.
Yeah, and
I
I'm
think it's going to
sorry.
break it. It's going to
Okay.
break it. If they break this, look where the L pivot is. I can't make this up, Dale. It's right at the cluster. Yeah, right here where these
Yeah,
institutions are. So this is the line in the sand. If it breaks 3272, 3275, we're quickly going to 3630.
that's
Quick,
my target.
quick, quick. It needs to take this out.
Yeah.
And I think it might. Now, it could definitely come back here and then, they could slam it again one more lower to here. They can.
You know what else is bullish about silver besides the gold silver ratio now? Retail people that were buying silver a few years ago are dumping their silver,
Yeah, see?
and the dealers are their bids are way under spot, and people are just giving their silver away now because
Yeah.
they said, well, and they're right, they should have been long S&Ps.
Well,
So
here's another exciting thing. I like when my oscillator gets below my dot line. It's about to cross too, kind of like where it crossed
I
here.
like
We got
that
a
too.
nice move and
Yeah,
crossed here, nice move, crossed here,
yeah,
nice move, crossed here, huge move, right?
yeah,
This has been winding. This is like a beach ball underwater here, right?
yeah, right.
So this is already starting to cross, which I like it, considering they've probably got enough what they wanted here.
If they make new lows, I'm buying more. That's another buying opportunity
I
for
think
me.
this
I'm
might be it. Yeah.
accumulating.
I think this might be it. I
All right.
think this might be it. We're in January and I think this might just go parabolic till March. I'm serious.
Well,
Like
people are
parabolic.
flat-footed in the dollar. Everyone's bullish a dollar now.
There you go. And
I
that
would
means
they
for
and they were
dollars.
all bearish at par. So I think people are wrong-footed in everything right now.
Look, Trump wants to get the manufacturing going in the U.S. It's not. It's clearly known he wants to do that. And one of the things he
Yeah.
needs to do is make the dollar cheap. That's going to really get their exports going. And I wouldn't be surprised they really start, you know,
Yeah.
doing some miracles to the dollar where they just, you got a lot of countries suppressing their dollars. So
Oh, yeah.
it's like, I'm going to do it too now. And we're going to do it like you wouldn't believe. You know how he likes to talk, like you
Yeah.
wouldn't believe.
Well, emerging markets will do very well with a weak dollar. They've been getting crushed by a
There you
strong
go.
dollar.
Yep. That
And
too.
yeah,
Yes.
the new
But the
song,
metals, the
the new
metals will
song.
be the one. The
Yeah,
metals will be the one to shine.
so we came on to talk about the S&Ps, and I think people could tell by our voice what we have the highest conviction in.
But there's my silver. I think silver and gold is going to be uh, I think silver and gold is going to be the surprise security, the surprise sector in 2025.
And the miners.
And the miners. I think 2025 is the shine. Now, I did really think 2024 was too, the second half, but hey,
Yeah,
it bottomed in July.
yeah.
So
It
I think,
bottomed. They bottomed in March. The miners
yeah.
last year.
So I think 2025 is going to be the time. I really do. Let's see.
Well,
I think
2025. Everyone who hears our voice, I'm telling you, you're going to thrive.
good.
And
Keep
Steve,
that positive faith and positive vibes.
you teach people how to, look at dark pools and how to interpret them, or that part of your service.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we've been looking at them for, I
Yeah,
have at least for 10 years now, but
yeah,
a lot of the people in my community that have been with me since 2018, they're really, right. It's a process, right? You got to have
well,
experience, whatever you do in life. Like if you are practicing a sport, for example, the more you practice and the more you put into whatever you do in life, you're going to get better at it. And that goes with trading as well. So you definitely have to be part of a right community, though.
you do.
TradeGate Hub, I like you guys. They got you on board, so you know, you could help a lot of people there within what you
Yeah,
do every day, Dale, which takes a lot of work, by the way. What Dale does is very hard. You spend a lot of time with these shows, Dale, and you educate a lot of people, which I like, and that's why I love being on your show. So
Steve. Well,
it takes
we
a
have
lot
a
of
bromance going, man.
but it does. I know that you work hard and you love to help people, and that's good because by helping others, you actually propel yourself.
Yeah,
That's I truly believe that
you,
that's how the
you,
world works.
you don't give without getting.
True, true, true. Yep.
My good friend,
You get more coming your way by giving. Believe it or not, that's just
my
how it works.
my good friend Steve, and a great trader, and I'm so glad our paths crossed on Twitter, and you came on to talk about that. Maybe I was, all the frauds out there, and you were right, and you and I are still talking. It's probably been 8, 10 years now,
Yeah,
and
about eight,
and
10 years.
yeah, so
Been a
I
long
appre
time.
I appreciate. I'm grateful to Twitter, now X, that our paths crossed, bro.
Yeah, me too. Me too. My wife
Or
really loves you, by the way,
uh,
which I do too. But my wife,
I'd like to meet you guys someday.
we will,
And,
we will. That's for
and
sure.
so let's have a
That's for
great
sure.
2025. Let's have a great decade this year, bro.
Awesome. Thank you, Dale, once again. And
All
we'll do
right.
this again for sure.
All right, Steve.
Take care, Dale.
Thanks for sharing your work, buddy.
Absolutely. Take
All
care,
right.
Dale.